Hi everyone, it's Sarah from Plan Sarah Plan, and welcome to my February setup Plan with me. I'm setting up my Erin Condren 7x9 Life Planner. Today we're going to work on the month view, the dashboard, this notes page, and the notes page preceding the month view. We're using a sticker kit, or I am, from my shop. This is the little freebie, and here are some icons and full boxes, dashboard stickers, more dashboard, and stickers to dress up the month view. So let's go ahead and turn this blank slate into something gorgeous, hopefully. I also printed out what I typically do in a month. So this is just going to keep me from forgetting what I'm doing while I'm talking to you guys, because sometimes I do forget some stuff. So I think we should start with the month view since we're here on it right now, and turn the planner upside down so I can line up the top of this February header with the edge of the page. I think it's just easier to do when it's upside down. And while we're doing this, I want to tell you all something funny that arrived in the mail yesterday. I sometimes sleep with earplugs in, and I have a favorite type of earplugs. It is by the brand Flents, F-L-E-N-T-S, and it's called Quiet Please, and they are just a simple kind of off-white foam earplug. I don't like other earplugs. I only like those. And so I haven't ordered any in a long time because I usually get a giant container of them. So it takes me a long time to use them all up. So I went on Amazon where I have ordered them in the past, and I could not find this specific earplug. It's Flint's Quiet Please. And so I found a 3M earplug that looked like the same thing. It looks like it's just a simple foam earplug. The only difference is that it has the brand name 3M and it is bright yellow. So I ordered what I thought was the same quantity of earplugs, and it took forever for it to get here. And I thought, wow, there must be an earplug shortage or something. What's going on in the world? And so when I opened this box, there was a huge box, well, not huge, bigger than what you would expect for like a container this big of earplugs. It was a bigger box than what you would expect. And I opened it up, and it was this, I'll put a picture of it up. It was this giant cardboard box inside that said 3M earplugs. And I thought, no way, is this box full of earplugs? Because that's going to be like a lifetime supply. And when I opened it up, all of the pairs of earplugs were individually packaged. So I think this might be for a workplace, someplace where you have a lot of noise, and I don't know, but it is definitely getting me laughing. I don't know where I'm going to put this. I'm going to have to clear a whole area in our linen closet or something for this. There's something about the other earplugs that are out there that are kind of a softer foam. I just don't like them. They stick out of my ear more. It's like I have to cut them. Maybe my ear is small. I don't really know, but they don't fit right. And I don't like wax earplugs. I just like these foam earplugs. So maybe there's another place to get Flint's Quiet Please. I don't know, but I would love to find them. In the meantime, I won't need them probably for another 10 to 15 years because of my massive amount of 3M earplugs. Okay, here's something that I forget to do sometimes. At the bottom of this sheet, I've included extra washi, and that's because the line here ends before it reaches the edge of the page, and I just like to have a mirror image where everything goes to the edge. I don't know if I showed it last month, but I did have some washi to put there on the edge. So I just literally put it right up against the edge of the paper, and that way it helps the full boxes that I might use come flush with this washi. Does that make sense? And I have to trim it when I get up here, but that's no biggie. I just like that look. use my handy scraper. Something flew off of it. And we're going to start a new scraps area for leftover washi and leftover stickers. And then let's put down these numbers. Now what I like to do most of the time is sort of pull all of my event labels over to the same sheet so I can see what shapes and colors that I have. And then I will either write on these event labels and place them, or as in the case of today, I will put a script sticker on top of the labels so that I can quickly record the events and put them down. So all I'm doing right now is putting colors together that are the same, and that way I can see, like, if I want to do a certain type of appointment on a certain color, I can, or I could just mix it all up if I want to. It just varies by what I'm in the mood to do. So let me finish this up and then we'll start putting some appointments on them. Okay, so all of these are here. All of the kind of like single event things are here. Full boxes are here, and then smaller little flag type stickers are here. And let's go into time lapse, and I'm going to hopefully come up with an intelligent way to place all of these. After I put some full boxes up here to just kind of decorate the January days, we're going to put paydays and birthdays in. Sometimes I do that first, and I did not this time. Don't really have to, but that's what we're going to do next. And then we're going to go onto the dashboard. Also, forgot, I need to put a list of bills to pay right there. And so that will be next. And then we'll go on to the dashboard. we're ready to move on to the dashboard pages, and goodness, what a full month. These boxes all serve a purpose for me. I've settled into a system that I like. This is my book of the month. These are some general goals and tasks that I need to check in with, and I've started coordinating this with my PowerSheets. Then this one is the piano piece of the month that I'm going to learn and perform for a video. And down here is where I keep track of my memories, and I'll show you what that will end up looking like more or less. With my December memories, I put little pictures down in that box. So I've got stickers for all of these boxes. And I guess we'll start with the bottom one. This is where the memories will go. And I have to print really tiny pictures to fit in very many memories. And I do that with either my HP Sprocket or my Liene photo printer. And I have links for both of those in the video description. And I use them all the time. And in fact, you're going to see how I use the HP Sprocket Select for my book of the month, because it prints the perfect size picture to represent the book. It's just the picture of the book cover. It's going to go on this box. When I designed this kit, I was really in the mood for some cheerful colors. It won't be spring yet for a while, but this just kind of got me ready. I thought the pink of Valentine's Day gives me an excuse to put lots of florals in here. And so I went for it. And of course had to put some gingham in there. So the book of the month, this month, I talked about this last month, it was a Christmas gift, and it's called Devotedly. It's by Valerie Elliott Shepard, who's the daughter of Jim and Elizabeth Elliott. So in January and December, I read the biographies of Elizabeth Elliott, and they are fascinating. Her life was divided into 2 volumes. So volume 1 was called Becoming Elizabeth Elliott, and volume 2 was called Being Elizabeth Elliott. Both of them fascinating. Volume 2, I thought, left a little bit to be desired, just because a big hunk of Elizabeth Elliott's later years and her third marriage, because her first 2 husbands died, was not covered extensively. There was a bit of discussion about her third husband not being everything that one would hope he was. But honestly, some of her best work, some of the, what shall we say? I'm going to put my prayer here. So let's put the prayer of the month header. Some of her best work, in my opinion, in terms of her Gateway to Joy radio program and her talks around the country, some of her best work that really is meaningful to me was done during the period that she was married to her third husband, who, according to the author of the biography, is not what everybody thought. And, you know, I don't know how much of that is true. Or I'm not saying that the author didn't research. I'm sure she did. But at the same time, maybe he wasn't her dream husband, and maybe she had a lot of difficult years with him. But at the same time, sometimes the best work that God does in our lives is during those difficult times. And it may have been that that was just necessary for her to really come to an understanding of the pain and trials that other people go through. Not that she didn't already have lots of pain and trials, because she, if you don't know the story, when she was married to her first husband, very young, they had a 10-month-old baby. Her husband was basically murdered by the group of people in Ecuador that they were trying to be friends with. And she went back later and actually lived with that tribe. It's an incredible story. She and her little daughter both lived with that tribe. So anyway, it's an incredible story. But what I'm saying is that even though she suffered in that respect as a missionary, when she was later on married to her third husband, who maybe was not everything that she thought he was before they got married, nonetheless, God used those years mightily in her life. And most of the work that I'm familiar with from her life comes from that period of time. So I just kind of wish it was covered more in the book. But nonetheless, those two biographies were really good. Here's the cover of, no, it's not. Here comes the cover of the second volume. This is the one that I wished covered more of her third marriage. And this was the first one, Becoming Elizabeth Elliot and Being Elizabeth Elliot. So now that brings us to Devotedly. This was put together by her daughter and Jim Elliot's daughter, the one who was murdered in Ecuador. So later on, Elizabeth Elliot became friends and like family with that same tribe. It is 100% incredible. And she later said that she learned more from those people than she ever taught them, which is very interesting. But these are the love letters that were sent to and from Jim and Elizabeth Elliot during their long courtship. And they were both very devoted Christians. So anyway, that's what that's going to be. The memory verses are going to go over here. And before I put any other hearts down, I need to write the first memory verse because that will determine where the next heart goes. So we're just going to leave that for now. And let's put my memories at the top of this box. I'm going to put it as far outside of this box as possible because I found when I was putting my photos in for December that I wanted every little bit of that area for my pictures. And then we're going to put the challenge of the month here, which is basically the piece of the month. And we need to talk about the piece of the month. I haven't recorded my December piece of the month. I mean, my December one, which means I haven't been practicing my January piece of the month. And today it is January 23rd. So here's what we're going to do. I'm not going to abandon ship. It's just that with the holidays and everything, I just didn't get it done for December. And it was a very difficult arrangement. It's actually, I'll be home for Christmas. So when I put this out, you're going to think, what? Why is she putting that out right now? It's not Christmas. It's because I practiced it for the whole month of December and I want to share it. You can just wait and listen to it next year if you want to, or not at all if you don't want to. But anyway, what I'm going to do is scale it back a little bit until I get caught up. So my January piece of the month is Cyril Scott's Lotus Land. I'm not going to say that I will not record that one, but I may make it a lot easier. Like, for example, I teach my kids a lot of things, my students, a lot of pieces that are famous and beautiful, but no piano teacher ever wants to do a performance of them, such as Fur-Elise. Why don't I do a performance of Fur-Elise? That would be so easy and fun. Everybody loves Fur-Elise. I don't have to be a piano snob about that. And that would be if I can't get Lotus Land done by the end of this month. So we'll see. But I'm going to scale it back. I'm going to just try to do some easier pieces because I have too much going on to be practicing really hard music right now. I want to get my book published. I want to get all kinds of stuff done. All right, so for my goals, last month I pulled out my PowerSheets and I wrote so many goals here, and I like doing that. Exercise 30 minutes a day, wake up at 5:30, finish 12 senior book pages, do my annotations for God's Minute, do my February kits and March kits. Okay, so I want to get my April kits out by February 1st. Still want to stick with 30 minutes of exercise, waking up early, doing 12 senior book pages, and publish God's Minute. I'm self-publishing through Amazon, but this is a big deal. I've never done it before. I want to get that done this month. All right, guys, I've already written my February memory verses in my Moxie Life. That's because my Moxie Life is the planner that I practice writing the memory verses in. So, for example, like there's January, and what I do is I write the verse out each day and try to memorize it by doing that. And I'm in the middle of the week now because it is Tuesday today. But after I wrote these, You know, I talked about this last month. We have this ancient copy of the book, which is the Living Bible. And I did some research on the Living Bible because I really love how it reads. It turns out it's a paraphrase. And I don't know how accurate it is, so I looked into it. Apparently, Billy Graham loved it. And it started off not being the whole Bible. It was just the epistles, like the letters from the New Testament that Paul wrote. And those were paraphrases. And the person who did it did so because they were trying to teach their kids Bible stories and they couldn't understand the other translations. So that is how eventually the whole Living Bible was born. That was back in the 70s, I think. Well, now what has happened is a bunch of scholars, like Greek and Hebrew scholars, got together and they did a revamp of the Living Bible, and that is called the New Living Translation. That's what the book is now. So the book that I showed you last month was the Living Bible. This one is a brand new one I ordered from Amazon, and this is the New Living Translation. It reads very similarly. I'm sure there's certain places where it's different, but I just love it. So here's what I thought. These are not from the NLT or New Living Translation. And I would kind of like to use the New Living Translation. I just love it. And I want to highlight the verses as we go. So I'm not going to stop the video after I write each verse and read it like I usually do. Let's just go over what I was looking for when I chose these verses. I wanted, since February is the month of love, last year we did love-themed verses. Now we're talking about faithfulness. So the first verse is 1 Corinthians 4:2. The second one is 1 Corinthians 10:13. The third is 1 Peter 4:19. And the last one for February is 2 Thessalonians 3:3. So these are verses that I use as my personal memory verses. You are welcome to use them yourself. I make graphics of these verses and share them in my Facebook group, Plan Sarah Plans Planner Circle. And once a week, I put them up on Instagram as well. You're welcome to use those if you want to. But what I'm going to do so I can do this extra step of looking up the verses and highlighting them and then copying the New Living Translation version of them is just do this all in time lapse. So I'll be back soon. Here we go, and I tried to capitalize faithful in each one, and I forgot on the last one. And in the New Living Translation, the word faithful is not in this verse, so I just put it in brackets where it would be otherwise. And so now the only thing left to do is the prayer of the, wait a minute, look what I did, you guys. The prayer of the month, and these are the memory verses. I had no idea I did that. Oh boy. All right, so we're going to substitute this, and hopefully this one will come up. I don't use removable sticker paper, but if it hasn't been on the page very long, you can often remove it if you have a little spatula or if you're just really quick about it. So let's put prayer of the month here. I bet you guys knew that I did that, and you were trying to tell me and you just couldn't. All right, so what I was about to say was, now that the memory verses are done, the only thing left is the prayer of the month. And I've written the prayer along the same lines as these verses and the theme of God's faithfulness. And I've printed it on sticker paper. If you want to have this prayer for your planner, you are welcome to download it. It will be in the file area of Plan Sarah Plans Planner Circle. If you're not already a member of that group, make sure that you answer all 3 questions so that I can let you in. I do not let people in if they answer 2 questions or 1 question. You have to answer all 3. But this will be in the file area. It'll just be called February Prayer of the Month. So I'm not going to pray that prayer right now. I do the prayer at the end of the weekly plan with me's, but it's here and ready to go. And here is one last look at everything. I used up a whole lot of the stickers. The only thing I have left is household goals, some balloons and house. I didn't use my houses. You know what I could do with that before we go, because I love the houses. Let's put the houses down on the days when I'm going to definitely be trying to stay home and work from home. Sometimes I use the houses as bullet points in my goals area, but because I've increased the number of goals that I put there because of using my PowerSheets there, the houses would be too big for that. Okay, and the cars are for car care day. That is when I gas up and go through the car wash. So we have prayer of the month, washi, and sticker scraps will go here, and that will fill up throughout the month. Book of the month, my goals, and here, if you didn't see those goals, I did that in time lapse, I think. The verses of the month, and we're all set now to begin February. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and watching this video. And you know, I like to watch videos like this when I'm cooking dinner and washing dishes. I don't always plan along with people. So whatever you did, whether it was planning or doing other things, I just appreciate you spending time with me. And I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.